All right, here we are. So Ben O'Brien, I'm on the peer support team, and Dave Lycum, right?
I'm also on the peer support team.
Right. So I was South Metro guy since '98, and you were Cunningham.
Cunningham since '96.
'96, right?
Yeah.
So what this project is about is just is talking about aspects of things that we can do to perform better and be more resilient in our careers. And I remember I was working at 12s a day. I'd never actually met you. And you were talking about neuro reprogramming and how much it changed you. And I was really struck by how similar it is, the changes that you experienced to like mindfulness, those skills. Remember that?
Correct, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about that day.
Uh-huh. And curious. And I think if you haven't met Dave, but if you know him, you've kind of you're a high energy guy.
Yeah.
Right? So I was thinking, man, if anybody could tackle this mindfulness thing, it'd be you. So
I've been curious about it for years now, and just, I want to say found the time to try it.
Right.
Or maybe it's just trying new things is what it is. I think it's something different that I got to talk myself into.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's hard to integrate new things in your routine. So
yeah.
That's it's habit change. But just before we turn this on, you were talking about like you get a little bit of anxiety before you go to sleep.
Yeah, it's a little bit different for me even here at home. Been trained so much to, I don't know, I guess you get a little bit anxious waiting for that call to come in, hoping that call comes in before you go to sleep, because you know you're going to get that call in the middle of the night and you wake up to the white lights and all that. And for me, it's you lay down at night and you think, okay, how do I calm myself down to be able to go to sleep, to let the neuro take effect? So that's what I'm looking at now, is trying to implement some of this mindfulness to be able to calm down and not have that anxiety, or get rid of that anxiety quicker before I go to sleep.
All right, cool. Well, we're going to start you. So let's do this. You want to commit to this? We'll try and integrate like a mindfulness program over a month. Okay. Realizing it's going to be a rocky road, and then we'll just see how we'll reshoot it in a month and see what's going on. Right?
Yeah, I'm always skeptical about trying new things. I was real skeptical about trying neuro.
Okay.
Yeah, I made a comment to the lady. I said, I don't really believe in this Ouija board hokey bullshit, but I tried it and it worked well for me once I allowed it to.
Right. Well, I mean, clearly, like in one way, because that skeptical attitude is probably pretty prevalent in our field of work, right?
Oh yeah.
But the other hand, like one argument against it is like, well, the shit you were doing wasn't really working for you either. So
yeah, drinking half a bottle of Crown at night was about the only thing you could do. So.
Right. And then you woke up in the middle of the night, right?
Yeah, and then you wake up at 3 o'clock and wondering why you can't sleep.
Right. Yeah, because you just sedated yourself so you could sleep, and then your monkey mind is taken off.
That's right.
So, so really, like a lot of the thought that the reason why, even if we have done neuro reprogramming and it's made a big impact for the positive, or let's say that you're anxious and like, I'm just going to take Xanax so I can do it. What a key part of resiliency, and then the other side of it is being more brilliant, or brittle, I should say, is when we feel helpless, that is really harmful to us, and it makes us even more anxious, and it feeds into this cycle when we feel like we don't have power. So if we just address some of these things that are a result of the field that we work in, then we're not taking power and ownership and developing our own belief of self. So the concept is self-efficacy. So we always want to be looking for ways where we can help ourselves, and that's kind of like one of the hallmarks and the foundations of resilience. And so even if reprogramming has worked for you, there's still room for these other things.
Oh, I got a lot of room for support.
All right, good. And then, so a key part, so mindfulness is like, well, what is that? It sounds crunchy, it sounds Eastern, and it is, but I just think of it as moment by moment situational awareness without judgment. So we're just learning the skill to like, what's going on with me physically, mentally, emotionally in the moment. And we do assessments everywhere we roll in, whether it's a medical call, a SWAT call out, a structure fire, right? We assess so that we can do a better job. And then the other big part of it, why we want to think about it, is we want to be more powerful, like I say. And the only place that we have any power is right here in the moment. And so when you lay down at night, you're thinking about the future, which is inherently anxiety provoking for all of us. And then we ruminate on the past, that can bring up a lot of regret. And so where we can take change is the moment. So that's why we're going to work on the skill of developing the capacity to be more mindful. Cool? Cool. So it's powerful. It's the ability to pay attention to what you want to pay attention when you want to pay attention. All right. So we're going to start this. I don't know how it's going to work. We're going to edit this out, but I'm going to walk Dave through we're going to get you to close your eyes and do some breathing stuff on camera. We're not going to film all of that. We'll cut past it. But one of the first thing we're going to work about is attentional training. So, which is paying attention to where we want to pay it. And what we're going to use for that is our breath, which is an awesome tool because guess what? We always have it, right?
Right.
And then it's readily available. So let's just start right in. So, and you can do this around the table. You can do it anywhere you want. And then as we work on a formal breath practice, it can become a lot more informal. So let's just do this one exercise. We're not even going to close our eyes. What we're going to do is I just want you to take one full deep inhalation and exhalation and just pay attention while you're doing it. Right, and then just do another one, just paying attention to your breath. Cool. So that, as we progress, can just be a mindful moment when we develop that capacity just to say, stop, take a breath, pay attention to it. So you just did mindfulness, dude. That's awesome.
It's like counting to 10 when you're
right,
angry.
Right. And why do we do that? Is because it allows us, well, one, it tones us down. And that's another big benefit of being a mindfulness practitioner or having a meditation practice in the fire service and emergency services in general is we're amped up because of what we do. We see the world in a different way. And just this down regulating us is helpful for us physically. So there's a huge health benefit to it. So cool, let's do this. So you're sitting upright. It helps to sit more upright. I can go into that later. But now what we're going to do is here we go. So let's close your eyes. And then I just want you to take 3 deep breaths. And if you're watching this, you can practice along with this. So 3 deep breaths and keep your eyes closed. And then I just want you to get a feel for the room that you're in. Like hear, when I stop talking, hear the sounds, feel how the room feels. Just settle in, and then also just settle in and feel your body sitting in the chair and your feet on the rungs of the chair and whatnot. So just get physically tuned in to where you are. Pay attention to that. All right, so now I just want you to feel your breath, and you can feel it in one of 2 places, either your belly going in and out as you breathe, or the sensation of the air going in and out through your nose. And then what we're going to do is every time you breathe in, just count to 1, and every time you breathe out, count to 2. And then when you get to 10, just start over. And if you lose track, if you find yourself following a thought, say congratulations, I've just increased my mindfulness, and just come back, start over at 1 with your counting. All right, open her up. How was that experience?
A little different. It was amazing the different sounds that I took in, like the clock ticking, the furnace on, and until I started to really focus on my breathing.
Right.
And once everything got quiet, it was I don't know. It almost seemed like those sounds increased.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it was different. I never, like the clock I have over there, I've never noticed the ticking of it. It's kind of different.
Well, hopefully that doesn't end up driving you crazy.
No,
So,
no.
right.
If it does, I'll get rid of it.
Right. All right. All right. So, and then how did it go? Were you able to, when you're doing your counting, were you able to stay on that focus of the counting, or did you at times get distracted?
It was, I definitely got distracted. It
Cool.
was, I could make it 3 or 4 counts, and then I could see my mind going somewhere else.
Awesome.
Yeah, what I needed to do, or am I in a hurry today, or stuff like that, and I try and redirect it back to breathing.
Great. So that's actually success. When you notice that you're distracted, that's you being mindful. So that's actually, instead of a failure, that's actually a progress towards being more aware.
Yeah, and I didn't look at it that way. I'm going, God damn it, come on, try harder.
Right. Exactly.
Breathe harder, or make more breath sounds instead of, so I can focus more.
Right.
And
cool.
my focus is, it's a different thing for me.
You're a monkey in a zoo, throwing shit around. Yeah,
I need to.
We all are.
Swing from all the trees.
Right. So I set you up for that, because that's so totally natural, right? That is literally just our minds working in the background. So they just evolved to scan the world for threat and to process problems. And so that's when we not paying attention to it, the focused mode that's what it does. And the harmful part of that is, you can see when you're totally distracted, one, you're not resting, your body can't shut down. So it inhibits literally the being able to sleep, but your brain isn't. And then it's that monkey mind that drives a lot of this like hypervigilance and high cortisol that's really harmful for us, for emergency responders. So what we're trying to do is just get that habit and build the capacity of that mind. So awesome. Great learning experience. That's totally normal for you to have that.
Good, because I thought I was failing miserably.
Right. No, you weren't. Yeah. So, and then the other thing is, like, if we can cultivate when we're trying to develop this, is like not trying so hard.
Yeah.
And so, like, what's really common, so I teach this around to firefighters and nurses and cops and like that, is that like, I suck at this, I need to try harder, or I need to stop my thinking. Is we're not going to stop our thinking. What we're going to do is just observe, like, hey, I'm thinking, and I'm going to go back to the task that I want to be on, which is paying attention to my breath. And so that's that present moment awareness without judgment. So we're not like, I suck, which we all do, but it's like, oh, I'm thinking, that's my brain working. Great. I'm going to come back to the focus. Cool.
Perfect.
All right. So we'll do some bullet points at the end of this to go on. And then I think we're going to wrap up pretty close, but I want to say we've done 2 different things there. And so you can, when you want to practice it in the future, I think a minute or 2 is fine. If you want to go up to 20, that's great. But a couple things is, there's 2 kinds, without getting too technical, of meditation. There's 3 kinds actually, but there's focused attention, which is focusing on your breath. But we did a little bit of Flavor Flav sauce of sampling of that open awareness. So you can do either, but you'd want to sit in a room, like when you start, that's not overwhelming with stimulus. So you could sit in here and set your 2-minute timer, and then just close your eyes and pay attention to all the things that you hear. And then that's different than getting distracted in thought, right? What you've got going on in your day. So that's just open awareness, and that's what that does for us, is it's like, oh, this is my brain working. It's one view of our brain. And then the other thing that we did was the second part of it, which is focused attention. So we're going to pick a thing to focus on, and that breath is a really great thing to focus on. So pick one, either that open awareness, sit in an environment, close your eyes, and then not while you're driving, clearly.
Yeah.
Right? But in some place that's safe, that you feel comfortable, and just pay attention to the sights and the sounds and the feelings. So one of the fun things I like to do is go in, when I drop my son off at school, there's a lake right near it and a gravel path, and I'll sit on that path and I'll listen to the people walking by and the geese flying overhead, and it's cool. So that's open awareness. And then the other is that focused attention. Cool?
Perfect.
All right. So then the next thing to develop a new habit is, you just got to develop a routine. And the easiest way to do that is to tie it with something else that you already do. So, I mean, is it feasible to do it at your bedtime routine, or is there a time of day where you can carve out 2 minutes?
I think it'd probably work better for a time of day, because
Okay.
you never know. Like at the fire station, you never know what time you're going to go to bed.
Right.
And so that's probably not a good routine.
Right. Right.
So I'll probably try it during the day, midday sometime.
Yeah. So I would like create an alarm on your phone and then just practice it. And I think 2 minutes is fine.
Okay.
Right.
That's easy. I can't make an excuse about that I don't have time for 2 minutes.
Okay. And then, so what I suggest though, in that if you're trying to use it with sleep, so you can still use it with sleep, is just go back to that counting to 10. So this is the old thing. This is what's cool about meditation and mindfulness, is it's 2,000 years old. And then it's also what's I think is cool about resilience skills. It's a lot of stuff that we've heard from our grandmothers or stuff like this. So what we're literally doing with that is we're counting sheep. And so we're taking,
there you go.
Right? We're taking our attention off of like, am I going to sleep? What's going on? All this stuff that increases anxiety, increases our brain activation, or anxiety, awareness of the fact that stuff might happen. I didn't say that articulately well. And we're just focusing it back to that moment. So that's all we're doing. So when you lay down to go to sleep at the station, you're feeling that anxiety. You can do the same thing laying down. Take your breaths and then just go back to your breathing 1 to 10. And then like, oh shit, am I going to get a call? Yep, maybe I'll get a call. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then go back to your breathing. So try that. Cool.
Perfect.
And then when do you go back to work? Tomorrow? No.
I go back on Thursday.
Thursday. All right.
Thursday, Friday this week.
Cool. So this one, I'm gonna check in with Dave, and maybe we'll add this to the series. We can just check in like by video. I can show you how to do that, and we don't have to. And then we'll report back.
Perfect.
Cool. And then I'm gonna also ask you to do this for the next 4 days. Is just when you do your mindfulness practice, just shoot me a text.
Okay.
Mindfulness practice done.
Perfect.
Cool.
Yep.
Awesome.
All right.
Project Mindfulness with Dave Lycombe.
Thanks.
Thanks, you. What do you think? Excited?
Yeah. It's going to be different. It's going to be. I like your idea of setting an alarm.
Yeah.
Because that way, it's a routine and it happens every day.
Yeah.
Instead of, oh well, I got this going on, and so it doesn't matter whether I'm lifting weights or.
Right.
Or.
We're talking 2 minutes.
Bullets.
Right.
Yeah.
Making bullets. Right. And what's cool too is like people don't pay any attention to you, right? I mean, so you could literally stop in the middle of your workout, and you're gonna sit on your bench anyway, so your eyes are closed, and 2 minutes of just paying attention, and then get right back to it. Breathing.
Yeah,
cool.
that's perfect.
I'm psyched.
Thanks, man.
Thanks for doing this.
Appreciate you coming by.
Yeah. Alrighty.